I will be playing the blue Vegeta deck. I like to play the color blue. In the game I come from, Dragon Ball Masters, blue is the color I've played since I've started that game, so it just seemed natural transitioning over to Fusion World.
I'll be using the yellow Frieza. So in the Masters game, set 1, they had a very similar Frieza. So this one being very similar to the set 1 Frieza. I'm really excited to play a upgraded version of the old character.
Looking forward to this. I hope you guys are as well. And I can't wait for this to be permanently released.
Let's do this.
Hey everyone, Eggman here with Richard Zapp for the Battle Hour Fusion World exhibition match between our champion for the Dragon Ball Super card game Masters, Michael Carrick, versus our champion for the Fusion World Star Deck battle here, David Fu.
Yeah, David Fujimura, a veteran of the Dragon Ball Super card game, now getting into Fusion World and successfully winning the tournament, playing against our now new world champion, Michael Carrick.
Yeah, and Michael's already proven himself today to be a champion of one flavor of the Dragon Ball Super card game, the Masters version, but this is a new battleground with a new way to play, which is this online client that they're both playing on.
Correct. One of the biggest differences for Fusion World being that energy marker that we see on Michael's character, allowing him to get a one-time use energy, one new time. Can't wait to see how he utilizes it.
Yes, for sure. So being able to use that for our advantage, and advantage for going second in this card game is pretty good. And being able to use it just to help you get to a higher energy total quicker than your opponent and get out one of your larger cards very quickly.
Correct. Much like Dragon Ball Masters, the goal of this match is to get the opponent's life from 8 all the way down to 0. Players will utilize battle cards, representation of Dragon Ball characters, extra cards trying to symbolize historic events, and their leaders, their mascots for their deck, and using all their various powers and abilities to overwhelm the opponent and get that life to 0, as we just saw them go from 8 to 7, almost a quarter of the way there.
Yeah, and so this is also a little bit of an advantage for David. He's been playing Fusion World pretty much all day. I know Michael's going to be a bit of a challenge, though. He's been, obviously crowned our Dragon Ball Super Masters winner, champion for the World season of 2023. So we're already seeing just a good amount of back and forth, being able to develop value from playing out our battle cards and hitting down to 6 life already for Frieza.
As the turn gets to Frieza, David Fujimura's goal here is to get his life down to 4, awakening Frieza. Once you awaken by getting to 4 life, your leaders gain new skills and abilities. Frieza's able to switch battle cards from rest mode to active mode, protecting his creatures from, protecting his battle cards from damage.
Exactly. And I think, honestly, that is one of the strongest abilities in this little bubble format that we have here for the starter decks. But looks like, I think, both these players have played Dragon Ball for a long time. They know where the value is, being able to play those trunks to draw cards. And since they can still combo from the field, they're in a good spot. And not really wanting to be super aggressive on the opponent's leader, because they know that once they get to that awakened side, there's a lot of value for their opponent.
Just a big old vanilla.
Correct. And then inversely, Michael is trying to get his Vegeta leader down to 4 life. One of the main characteristics of the color blue in Fusion World is gaining powerful new abilities whenever their hand size is low. Yes. A lot of the cards in the Vegeta deck prioritizes getting the player to 7 or less. So we'll look forward to seeing all the creative ways that Michael utilizes things like the combo stuff to manage his hand size throughout the match.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things about playing this blue Vegeta, as you said, is that it's very easy to make your hand size 7 or less by aggressively comboing, but finding the right times to do it and when the value is to use and get to those abilities, I think defines the leader and this matchup in general.
Exactly. One of the interesting highlights we see is that Bulma on the field with a shield around it. That symbolizes the keyword blocker, which is very much like the Masters keyword, correct?
Yes, it is. So you're able to block this. One of the key changes between Masters and Fusion World is there's no counter step. So I know personally whenever I play this, like with a lot of my friends who play Masters, they attack and then they pause thinking that I have the response.
really
But they immediately do get to start comboing and try to pressure my cards down.
Correct. So we see Frieza attacking. When Frieza attacks, they can add up to 1 card from their life to their hand and choose one of the opponent's battle cards with a cost of 3 or less and switch it to rest mode. So we could see a card like that Bulma be switched to rest mode, or the Trunks kind of decreasing the power of that blocker skill.
Yeah, it looks like they chose the Gotenks for this one, but also being able to take cards from your own life is incredibly valuable in this game. We are able to use this Frieza Awaken pretty soon. Not only, as we said, we are going to be a 20k leader, but we're also going to be able to restand these two Friezas that we've already attacked with.
So there we see the utilization of the combo ability. By choosing cards in active mode in the battle area or in the hand, a player can increase the power level of one of their battle cards or their leader for their duration of turn.
And there's that awakened ability of Frieza there, that sick animation flipping onto the backside, going into his ultimate form. You're a 20k leader now, you get to still draw when you attack, and being able to get that value again to restand your cards at the end of the turn is fantastic.
Correct. One of the challenging things about overcoming an opponent that has awakened, because their leader card has a 20,000 base power, much larger than your unawakened 15,000, it can be difficult in a leader versus leader exchange to do damage here. So the main priority for Michael here is to find a way to get his life to 4 and quickly, so he can play on an even battlefield.
Yeah, and I think exactly what David's trying to do is that he tried to use, by resting the Gotenks and having something to attack in that's not the leader, you get the value without setting them to 4 life for free, right?
Exactly. One of the neatest characteristics of Yellow is the ability to easily do that, no matter if the opponent is choosing to attack with their battle cards or keeping them in active mode.
Yeah, and so like this blocker, oh man, look at this. So he used all this resources to try to pressure down this Gotenks and still was able to use the Golden Death Beam to get rid of it in the first place. So I think that was a really good play from David, being able to get those resources out of the hand of Michael and just kind of still punish him for it.
After that, we see Dodoria hit the board, also having a blocker skill, kind of going 1-for-1 compared to
Really good
what
skill.
Bulma's doing on the blue side.
Yeah, and looks like, restanding those 2 Friezas as well. And now we have the super rare from the blue set in the hand of Michael here. It's a 5 cost, so we need 1 more energy, which in tandem with our energy marker that we have, we're able to play it next turn. But we'll need to wait 1 more to get there. And I think you're going to try to want to awaken this turn 2s if we can with Vegeta.
Yeah, Goten's definitely going to be helpful in that process.
Yeah, and there it
Being
is.
able to pick up a life, and then depending on hand size, possibly returning a small battle card back to the owner's hand.
Yeah, so deciding to do that, putting that life into your hand, so you're down to 4 life, so you can awaken. And we are going to combo with the Goten, or the Trunks there with the Goten, and get that to 20k.
So in Dragon Ball Super, the way battles work is that if a player, if the attacker and the defender have an equal power level stat, the attacker actually benefits.
Yes.
Talking about tied stats, now that Vegeta is awakened, Michael's able to attack with his leader for an increased power level, 20,000 on 20,000.
Yeah, and so there was the awaken for there, 20,000, and then also if you have 7 or less cards in your hand, you have an activate main to get plus 15k to your leader. You have a couple too many cards for that right now, and I think it's smart to not pressure, just combo for no good reason, especially since David's taken these 20k hits pretty quickly. I think he's in a good spot. So probably starting next turn, we'll go down to 7 or less cards pretty easy, get that 30k. Or that 35k leader attack, and we're going to be a little bit more patient for this next turn.
Definitely seeing Michael on the front foot here between having that energy marker and having 2 blockers. It's going to be real challenging for David to be able to get damage through here.
Yeah, and that's kind of how this matchup works. Vegeta's very good at being aggressive, and if they have to use a lot of cards in their hand from combo as well, you are guaranteeing that they're getting that 7 or less combo, that effect for the color.
Mm-hmm. Another interesting thing about the game state here is even though Michael is not the turn player, that 2 energy that he has up, he can use it for some pretty cool defensive tricks.
Yes, 100%. So we attacked with Frieza again. You don't have to take the card from life to hand to activate its effect when attacking, so we're able to get the rest of Bulma. We're attacking our own blocker into it, getting rid of it with the Dodoria there. And these Bulmers are good, but Yellow is so good at just resting any cards.
Yeah, it would have taken 2 cards out of the hand most of the time to be able to have Bulma survive that.
Yes.
And Michael decided that just was not a worthwhile exchange.
All right, looks like Dagoma's going in 20k, deciding no combos, and looking if Michael wants to go down to 3 life, deciding to use a 10k combo there, get 30 to 20 and get out of it.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. One of the most challenging parts about the combo step is trying to calculate exactly how many cards on the offensive step that you need a combo to ensure damage goes through.
Yeah.
And as a defender, trying to determine, do I use 1 of my 10 cost combo cards? Do I use 2 of my 5 cost or my 5,000 power combo cards? And measuring the pros and cons of that is what makes the difference between a good and a great play.
Hope I don't lose by 5.
All right, so we end up getting out of that attack, 30k to 20k. 25k Frieza coming in, deciding if we want to activate blocker. We may as well while we can, just to make sure, because I think that Frieza's going to have a lot of answers for this card moving forward, and Bulma's kind of done its job.
Right, yeah, get the value out of it while you can guarantee being able to do so.
All right, we've got Frieza attacking leader to leader. And if he hasn't taken this damage, I hope he does, because the animation is potentially very good. But it looks like it's just a regular one there, going to 4 super combos in hand. That's very good in this game.
Super combo is some of the most important cards in the game, offering some of the highest combo potential of any card in Fusion World. However, you can only have 4 copies of super combos in your deck.
Yeah, and in Dragon Ball Super Masters, which Michael is more used to, generally they are 10k and they let you draw a card. In this game, they are 10k all the time, but on your opponent's turn, you get an additional combo boost there to help you get out of stuff. So they're more defensive leaning, but I do like the design implement in this game. It feels a little bit more balanced there.
Ooh, and we will see Vegeta go down to 2 life. Michael and David now on an even playing field.
All right, and we're going to see the value of this Frieza leader. We ended up attacking with our King Cold blocker, but we could have brought it back, but we're just going to restand 2 of our good cards, 1 of our blockers, and then also our 2-drop Frieza, which again has been quite a menace for getting rid of a lot of these smaller cards.
Michael trying to charge 1 of his 5,000 combo power cards, assuming that he's not going to play that Son Gohan the rest of the game, but trying to maximize the combo potential in his hand.
Yeah, and deciding to go for board instead of for leader here, which I don't think is terrible, being able to go 20 into 20. We still have too many cards in hand to start using our leader ability for Vegeta here, but we're going to save the Dagoma 20 to 25.
And that's successful guard.
Yeah, hopefully, I think this Vegeta would be a pretty solid play. Yeah, Vegeta here being able to pay 5 for it. And we're going to use it, probably get rid of, I don't know, maybe the King Cold. Yeah, King Cold is probably the best pick for that.
And then still having 1 more energy if you wanted to play Bulma, or keep it up for David's turn to be able to use a card like
I don't know if Final Flash exists in this game.
Yeah, Gallic Gun, yeah, 100%. Being able to use that there. But we
I'm
have 35k double. This could pressure for game right here, but we've got 2 blockers. I'd be surprised if we use neither of them. Let's see what David decides to do. Yeah. I think Dodoria's taking one for the team on this one.
Correct. 10,000 on 35,000. I think that battle's going to go very straightforward. Very mechanically appropriate as well.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going back to the side of David here. I think the biggest thing here is I think Michael could have been more aggressive or perhaps with the cards, but with all these super combos in hand, you want to keep those in there. I think what it really is kind of just showing is that it's difficult to get to 7 or less cards in hand sometimes in this game.
Correct. One of the benefits of defending life early, sometimes it's easier to defend a 20,000 swing now than a 40,000 swing later.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the game may not last long enough for that game state to happen. So it's always a push and pull.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're attacking Tagoma in. We're another 10K. That additional, over combo feels a little bit bad, but you're still using one card to get out of it. And the difference between 5K and 10K combos are kind of a little bit particular in this game, which I really like.
Ooh. And we do see Michael go down to 1 life.
Yeah.
Now kind of in that very risky range, drawing a Piccolo with 5,000 combo power.
Yeah, and that Piccolo is really good too. It lets us draw an extra card from our drop, so being able to get that cycle there is very strong. But yeah, I think what David's really doing is the correct play. You're just kind of peppering down. You have all these attacks. Why not just each one of these either does damage or forces a card out of Michael's hand? But it looks like we're going to play the Sorbet to draw 1, and if he has the Golden Frieza 5-drop, I think David's going to be in a really good spot.
David, considering his options, does he have the Frieza? Is he thinking of a plan B? Trying to do a risk assessment given the 9 cards in Michael's hand?
Yeah, and you still have 5 energy up. Even in this Frieza deck, you don't really mind attacking with your Dodoria either, because you could just restand it at the end of the turn and become another blocker. You could also just restand your battle cards, so if you needed to get that extra combo power, you have a couple more extra on the board, but no Golden Frieza, which is good news for Michael, just playing that 2-drop Zarbon.
Correct. Zarbon not significantly influencing the game state, though that blocker can always come up in a pinch.
Yeah, and we get rid of the Piccolo. I get it. It feels real bad because you want that if we could use it for the recycling of power. But another blocker, man, I've yet to see this many cards on the field, so I didn't know that there's even a second layer on the backside. But
Oh my god.
3 blockers are going to be a big ask to get around.
Correct. No limit on the number of battle cards a player can have in Dragon Ball Super Fusion World.
I'm sure I've yet to decide or investigate the client as much. I'm sure I could get there, but for today no limit.
So the first goal by Michael was finding a way to get through all of these blockers, and as you said, it's a tall ask to do it in 1 turn.
Yes, it sure is. And so something else in this card game too is that he did charge up to 7 energy. You don't have to charge all the time in this game. So if you, that being a decision and not a mandatory one, I think that's something that you could decide if you wanted the cards in hand more than the 1 energy. It's not a bad choice, but it looks like we get that easy block there, and I'm sure Dodoria is going to take another one for the team in just a minute.
35K deciding to go into the 25K.
5 to 20.
And I'm thinking, all right, if you end up blocking this, you could have enough energy this turn to play Vegeta for 5 and then Final Flash the other blocker. You could try to go for game now.
You could. And you still have your energy marker for a Gallic Gun on defense.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, paying a big
And we're going to see
5.
it. 3, 4, 5.
Sheesh.
And we see Vegeta hit.
He's looking like hitting the Frieza instead.
Okay.
Basically soft claiming, you know what, I'm not going to win this turn, and I'm okay with that.
I mean, you do have 4 super combos in your hand, which are, again, fantastic defensively. I don't think that's a bad call.
Not at all.
And it's a shame that Michael has yet to get down to 7 cards in hand to get that extra pressure from the Vegeta. But I think it's right. You don't need to discard extra cards for the extra pressure if you don't have it. Especially since all these attacks are getting blocked. You know you're probably winning the battle anyways. You don't necessarily want that there. So
Fully agree.
yeah, considering comboing, but
35 on 10 is probably a pretty reliable KO here.
yeah, I would not be too worried about it. I mean, they could use a super combo, but I think that's still a win in your book if you decide to use that instead.
Players doing some quick mental arithmetic before Michael is about to commit.
Yep, all right, commits on the 35. Do we get a combo? Nope. David pre-planned that Dory is off the board again.
Frieza's Goonies performing what they are best known for, protecting Frieza.
Oh yeah. All right, so we have 6 energy for David right now. Let's see if he goes up to 7. Only 1 life for Vegeta, so we only need 1 attack to go through. No blockers up, but we do have quite the hand of defensive 4 super combos, as well as the Gallic Gun, which would help us there too.
Right, kind of 1 life every attack is a little nerve-wracking because you never know when Dave was just going to decide to use every combo card in his hand to try to threaten that last lethal damage.
Yeah, and something I love about this client is that they do such a good job at like using the UI to show you just using all the cards in your hand, saying this is it, this is my final push, can you answer it? And it's very faithful to the physical card game.
Frieza trying to find something to switch to rest mode using the when attacking ability. Not going to find anything on Michael's board though.
Yep, and so we're using our 10k combos to get out of this. So far, so good. All right, 20 to 20. We're going to use that Gallic Gun there. So it gives up to 1 card, 15k power or more. And then if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, you get to draw 1. So we're going to use our energy for that.
Correct. It's a little bit of an over combo, but at this point, every card in your hand is a super combo.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually starting to get nervous that you might have to use all 20,000 of that defensive combo power.
Yeah, and if I was David, it's very unlikely to have 4 super combos in hand, right? So I think that's kind of some telling information that there's nothing left in hand to do this combo, and the Zarbon is a good hit. Luckily, we found something to combo with from our draw from Gallic Gun, but no more attacks currently on the board. We'll see what David ends up doing.
And all these attacks went through without any energy being utilized.
Yeah, and there's the Golden Frieza. Big 35k double strike. Doesn't matter when you're at 1 life, but let's see just how big you can make this attack.
Correct. In addition to going for 35,000, that Vegeta is not switching to active mode at the beginning of the next turn, offering a lot of defensive opportunities.
All right, so they're going to use the Death Ball there. It's kind of like the Gallic Gun, being able to give it plus 15k power, switches something to the rest, but not active there. And I think we have potentially a second Gallic Gun, or another Death Ball, which we do. So we went from 35k to 65k pretty quickly. And just comboing the rest of it. Looks like we're going to get up to 100k.
100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's
10?
exactly the same amount
100?
as these super combos get used. So,
Yeah, 100.
despite everything, this really came down to we're going to combo all our Videls just to see if we can get there. And unfortunately,
I think I
just
just
tying
hit
it at 100k,
Yeah,
so
you're
Frieza
on
still
the
has that
right.
advantage
That's
there,
I did
and
lose my
is able to do
That's
that
good.
last
David's
piece
the
of
winner.
life. Man, what a close game.
Wow.
If you didn't do that, man, if you had 5k more, Vegeta I think would have definitely been able to get back on that next turn and go for it. So honestly, quite the close match.
How was your experience?
Thank you. I think the client is really awesome, and it's super great to be able to play the game through the computer.
Yeah, I think the client's a really good step in the right direction for the game. For any card game, really, it lets you play the game anywhere, and you don't have to be at a sharp.
Even though you lost.
Yeah, losing's part of growing.
ワクワクしてきたぞ。よく怒らせたな。終わりにしてやる。